Thank you to all our panelists. We have some hands up now. I acknowledge Omolara Akunji, Moid AK. If there's any other person that wishes to say anything, it can be questions, it can be just comments. Please use the emoji to raise up your hand. Otherwise, you can put it on the chat forum and I will call you to speak. So in order, I have Omolara Akunji. Please unmute yourself. You have the floor. And pardon me looking this way today. My camera is not working.
Thank you, Lady K. You are beautiful. Thank you. Right. I want to thank the panelists, and I want to also emphasize the need for this commodity board that had been, that is going to be reinstated. But there are two things that we need to understand. For commodity board to be more efficient, we need to know which of these commodities that we want to encourage and make it a commodity that is known to be a Nigerian commodity. In those days, it was cocoa, and we were always monitoring cocoa because of the foreign exchange flow that comes from it. The flow comes straight to central bank, and we were able to put it in the market. So we need to identify which commodities are we going to encourage commodities board to play with in the commodity market. That is one. The second point is that everybody has been talking about this tax issue, the multiple taxation that is in the system. How are we going to, get over it in the export sector? We need to look at that. How many tax do we have? This multiple taxation, is it really affecting export? We need to drill down that. And finally, we also need to talk to SON. SON should come and talk to us here and let us know what standardization they are focusing on, particularly on export. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma.
Thank you so very much. I have Mohammed AK. Please unmute yourself. You have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let me thank the panelists for doing justice to the topic. And I will start by also appreciating Mr. President for bringing back the issue of the commodity board exchange. That's what they use in the presentation of Mr. President. But I want us to know that there are two distinct things, although they all try to provide the same services. We have the commodity board, we have the commodity exchange. The commodity board was what we used to have in the past. It started with regional marketing boards, regional marketing commodity boards, and we used to have 4 in Nigeria at that time during the regional government. We have Northern Nigeria Marketing Board, Eastern Nigeria, Western Nigeria, and Northern Cameroon. Later on, those commodity board were reduced to commodity specific. We have the cocoa board, we have the granite, the cashew, the palm, all those ones. Now, the essence of those boards essentially is to create markets. Now, what happened was that when Nigeria was trying to collect IMF loan, the first condition is that we deregulate the agri sector. And in deregulating the agri sector, we remove all the structure and the infrastructure of marketing. At that time, the first victim was the farmer, because with the commodity board, a farmer knows his market. There is a guaranteed market. There is local buying agent. A farmer knows where to take his wares immediately after harvest. With them, we also have Nigerian Marketing Company, which is an umbrella body that exports Nigerian products at that time. So when this structure was completely removed, as I said earlier, the first victim is the farmer. The second victim is government, because government is no more collecting revenue. And the third part of it is that the services rendered by this commodity were left afalo. Nobody was given that responsibility, not until in 1996, when the Commodity Export Committee was set up in the Ministry of Investment. But with the present day situation, and that was what is, I want to believe is because we had oil money, so oil felt there is no need, so we neglected the sector. And that's what brought about the collapse of the entire agri industry at that time. Now, we have commodity exchange. The commodity is entirely different because the commodity exchange, a farmer can also take his wares to the exchange. There is collateral warehouse. There is also appointed collateral warehouse managers. For example, today in Nigeria, we have about 4 commodities exchange. I don't want to mention the name, but I can tell you the major challenge they are facing is that most of them have no structures, no infrastructure at the producing level. So for us to make a success of it, we must establish aggregation centers. And these aggregation centers will now serve as collateral warehouses within producing community, such that if a farmer harvests his produce, he can take it, and then we can now introduce the warehouse receipt financing scheme, which means a farmer knows the value of his produce on going to the market. It is now asset, and then he has an appointed agent who will now trade his commodity at the floor of the commodity exchange. This one is more scientific, which means a buyer from London can buy your product from the commodity exchange online. So if we will be able to achieve this, I can tell you we'll revitalize the rural economy, we'll generate revenue, but most importantly, we need to advise the government. Let private sector lead. Let private sector take lead in managing and promoting this commodity exchange. Recently, CBN took over Nigerian commodity exchange. What happened? What is the result? Who are those managing it now? What is the result? So we have to look at it critically. Please allow private sector. Look at all these multinationals. They are in our villages. They are go to farm gate to buy. In Ethiopia, if you are buying a commodity worth 5,000, you cannot buy it in the open market. You have to go to the floor of the exchange. So in essence, we need to regulate this sector. We cannot continue to pretend, because even in America, they regulate agriculture sector. Every developer, but they pretend to us, okay, we should regulate. And they regulate, and our farmers are now left at the mercy of the Shylock. When you deregulate, nobody take care of the farmer. It is difficult for a farmer to get input like fertilizer. Our farmers, the kind of seed they are using is not the high yield, it's the low yielding variety. So, but if we are really supporting, if we are really serious in diversifying, let's focus a lot on this sector. Let's provide the basic infrastructure. Let's put the structure such that the commodity exchange will continue to flow, and definitely will generate all the revenue we want, and will revitalize the rural economy. Thank you.
Thank you so much for.
Thank you so very much. We appreciate your contributions as always. And okay, the next hand I have up is Abu Unda Ali, Nigeria Art Commission to South Africa. Thank you so much for joining us again today. You have the floor. And after him, I'll be bringing in Elizabeth. And yes, let's go from there.
Thank you, Lady K. Thank you for having me and make this little comment. I hope you can hear me clearly. And thank you,
Yes.
our distinguished convener, Mr. Fenway. I think I've listened very carefully to some of the presentations that was done, even though I joined late, but especially the one by, I think, Nakima, if I'm right, the one that talked about export promotion and market development. And what came to my mind immediately, it made that statement was that we have a lot of policies, agencies that are doing export promotion. I think we need, there will be more interesting to have a more highlight of what kind of export promotion and market development That's what we're looking at. Because if the government is already there, and when you talk about export promotion, they'll tell you, but there's export promotion agency that is doing this, right? And then another second comment I also wanted to highlight is the issue around what the Ministry of Trade and Investment is doing in terms of policy. Now, I know when I was in the ministry, there's a department that talks about Commerce 44. The question is, where are we with those initiatives? Yeah, I mean, 11 products, 11 destination market, 11 what do you call it, solid mirrors and the rest. I think we need to, this platform, for me, because I'm beginning to enjoy this platform. This platform to be able to begin to direct the focus of our policy thinkers or makers, let me put it that way, by refocusing our ideas and thoughts. Now, if we say we're promoting 11 products, right, we need to really understand those products. How are the production of those products back home? And I think I like the story or the narrative around commodity boards and the rest being created. That is a very an important step to be taken, and I think that is the way to go. Then, as somebody spoke about, and I think talking trade, you need to really help us at this point by bringing agencies, regulatory agencies, NAFDAC, SON, to come to and discuss with us in terms of what kind of standards do we really need to export our products. Look, I'm here in South Africa, and sometimes when we talk about, okay, I want to bring Nigerian food to South Africa, they tell you they will reject it. I don't know, something just go wrong. And then when you ask them, where do you get this product, for example, for yam? They say, oh, we got it from Ghana. What is happening? Yam, we know yam is from Nigeria. So I think this platform truly, if we have agencies like NAFDAC, SON, what do you call it, Nigeria Customs Service, to also come talk to us so that people understand on how to refocus our thinking in terms of export promotion and market.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. We're bringing in Madam Elizabeth Olariwaju.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. Okay,
Good evening.
Standing on the existing protocol because of time, all that have been said earlier, I want to say thank you. And just to emphasize some of them again, that giving things or ideas that can be looked into, suggestions that can make it better for us going forward. Enabling environment, it's key, because when you look at the cost of putting equipment and everything together to make a quality product, you see that exporters are tying down capital. That's one. And a lot of things make it operationally inefficient. When we now go down, we look at commodity board. Commodity board has to come back. I was somewhere not too long, and the Ghana people were talking, and they said they can't sell cocoa by themselves anymore. The government has to sell on their behalf. So they are looking at how to penetrate into Nigeria, to buy cocoa from Nigeria to export out. That means we are porous, and that means we don't have price control. That means a lot of issues that is going on within our system is being known by our neighbors, and they always capitalized on this. And that is why you see everything being going to Ghana, because we sell to them at harvest, because I can't afford to hold on to that product to myself. So you need money. And it's the same way, even when you go to the local women, the real, whatever women you want to call them, they want to sell off immediately and have their money back immediately. So that aspect has to be looked into, how we can sell off to the government and take the money. And in this policy this time around, stakeholders needs to be involved, because we are actually the ones that bear the brunt at the end of the day. So there is need for stakeholders to be involved in making this new policy and making it to work. Let me stop at that. Now we look at what are the products that we want to bring on board. We talk about cocoa, we talk about shea butter. I could see my president sitting in-house speaking not too long. Palm oil is there, spices are there, yam is there. Just keep mentioning. Recently in Niger State, the governor said he doesn't want to see anybody selling the shea nut out of the country. And I think we should give him a clap. If every governor can also work in line to look at what are the commodity in their locality that can be looked into and be protected, and to see that just nobody taking it out of the hand of people in the villages like that. I think we can go on and on, but new policies with stakeholders. I want to leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Madam Elizabeth. Thanks for being a faithful. I'm calling now on retired Controller Ogunleye. Can you hear me? Are you there? Anybody wants to bring him in?
I can hear you.
Yes, please go ahead, and then we'll now take back our panelists.
Now,
Please go ahead.
thank you, Lady K. You know, I talked about ICRT the other time. Are you hearing me?
Very clearly.
Hello?
Very clearly,
Yes,
we hear you.
hear you.
Yes. I talked about ICRT the other time. That is interstate road transport. Is small for transit trade. I want to say that, Yana, it's small for transit trade. It's not meant for intra-ECOWAS trade, like goods originating from Nigeria going to Ghana or Ivory Coast. No, that one will be captured more under ETLS. And I will advise that we should appeal to Nigerian government or Chamber of Commerce in the sub-region to really work on their MDA, their agencies along the route, like Lagos, Dakar corridor, or from Gambia to Nigeria, whatever, to work on it so that goods can have smooth movement across states along the corridor. Because the other day I had Alhaji Aliko Dangote talking that it's easier for him to, that for his cement to go from the factory Ibeshe, which is he says about 20 kilometers or so into somewhere in Benin Republic, that it will take about 2 weeks because of protocols, because of protocol that ETLS has already erased. So if you can strengthen ETLS scheme across the sub-region to work. Now, coming to ISRT is more to encourage goods imported into the sub-region going to hinterland, and it's more operational along Umoa, Mano River Commission area. That is Sierra Leone, Gambia to Equatorial Guinea and Guinea-Bissau axis. So that it is the procedure that allows the transport of goods by road from one custom office, that is from a custom office in a country, in one member state to office in another member state, with the suspension of duties, taxes, and prohibition procedure. The transit shall be carried out under cover of a single customs document with no breach of obligation. That means it's for goods moving from maybe a port to hinterland. It's not operational mostly in Nigeria, Ghana area. That's just what I want to say. It's operational in Mano River. And the role of Chamber of Commerce along the corridor matters if you are to have a smooth movement of goods. And sensitization among MDAs, very important, at the border posts for goods manufactured in Nigeria or from Ghana coming to Nigeria or anywhere. Those officers manning the borders, a lot of sensitization has to be done, and we have to be proactive about it. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir. Efe, I see your name written as Efe Use. Are you available to make your comments now?
Thank you so much, Lady K. Thank you. Hope you can hear me now.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you so much, and thank you for this meeting.
Why are you borrowing Lady K's face?
Don't worry, Lady K will be removed now and we can see her.
Obuse,
Oh my God! Oh my God! I didn't know my video was on. Let me turn it off.
Obuse.
No, don't worry. You don't need to see my
Go
face.
ahead. Let's
Thank you so
hear
much, sir.
the
Okay.
substance.
So let me
Okay.
say this. I run the Women in Exports group, and since we started, one of the challenges we have found, we have market. There is market for Nigerian products. There is market for the things the women do. There is market, international market. We have contact. However, the challenge we have made is our price competitiveness. By the time we put in the cost of our production and everything, even power, someone spoke earlier on about power, about infrastructure. By the time we put all of this together, the price cannot compete in the market. And we are saying, please, can we make an advocacy such that we can have incubation center or processing center? We are ready to partner with the government to build these things and to run them profitably like the business centers, We are ready to do that because we are already doing our own. But with little support from the government, we can actually do bigger ones that we can run as women. The women are structured enough now to run this thing. Years before now, you can say, we are not sure. But now we are. The women are very structured. If we can be determined to start our own, with little support from the institutions like BOI, BOA, NAPC, and the likes, even NASIMA, if we can have little support to enable us build and run our processing centers, we can run them profitably. And they will aid most of those things, but at least bring down the cost and ensure standardization in the things that we produce, in the processed value-added products that we want to export. So that's my cry, really. I just pray that someone would hear it and try to assist us in this our call, to increase the number of participation, women participation in export, because they're already doing it anyway. Just that is a fight, it's a struggle, it's tasking. We can do without all this stress, really, with little help. Little helps. Thank you so much, Ma. I appreciate the time.
Thank you so much. You have brought in a refreshing dimension. Everybody speaking all along. Men. It's like they always forget that we women were here. Okay, just an interlude. I have Ellie Imogen. Ellie, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Lady K. Good evening.
Oh, super good evening. I'm very happy to see another woman. So
thank you.
You have the floor now.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I'm in Benin, and I actually want to thank Mr. Femi Boyede for all he's doing concerning export. Well, I'm a woman, and I coordinate, or I'm the vice president at Web South, and I'm also the public relations PRO for Edo State Exporters Cluster. There's a lot about exports. We can't say it all in a few minutes that we talk here. But one thing I want to point out is, I think we need hubs. Going to the local people, they need to be educated on what to do and what not to do to get their crops or their final production to the table. It's not the way it's being done now. We still need a lot of education for these people. What I'm actually talking about is having hubs, women hubs across the place. We can have farmers market in locations. And here we can now pick up what it is that can be exported. We all know what is needed out there. And we know, but most of these people don't even know how to get it to the final stage. our packaging most times is still very poor. And these hubs can help in training people, especially on packaging, because that's exactly one thing that disqualifies our products outside the country. Talking about exports, there's a lot about it, and it's saddening to hear that more than 50-60% of our products are rejected outside the country. Why Nigeria? Why Nigeria? What are we to do that we are not doing? Is it if the government is not ready to help, then the private sector, we have to face the private sector, those in the private sector that have made it, and we call them to the table. You help and let us see how we can all move. Because I want to say something. Some countries made it through SMEs. All these SMEs, then we now have the MSMEs and all that. We just can't leave them to be, to be fumbling, and then at the end of the day, you tell us again that their products were rejected. Let's sit down. What are those who have, we can call the Dangotes, we call them. How have you done it? Come, help. We need help. If we have to, come up to start asking these people to, come and help these other people. How can you come in? How can you do it? So that at least in a year we can say, okay, so number of MSMEs or SMEs have been able to push so number of products out of the country. We seem to be, we've talked enough. I think what we need now is time. We have the time now in our hands to push out. The talking is enough. Let's practicalize what we have been saying. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Fidelis Onu?
He's a panelist.
Oh, he's one of the panelists. Oh, okay. I saw his comment, so I don't need to read out his comment. Okay, thank you very much. I yield the floor back to Femi Boyede.